A lot of interesting miscellaneous questions, summer questions. First one is the grill. A few people asked about the grill. So first of the actual grates themselves need to be toivel. That means you have to put it in a regular mikveh and make a bracha ashek disham tzivanu al tfilas kli. Koshering. What happens about koshering a non-kosher grill? So that requires blow torching, and therefore please be careful. If you're not an expert, I have a good friend actually here in Muncie that will do it for you. He has the right utensils. If you know what you're doing with the blowtorch, and it's not a very complicated procedure, you could blowtorch the actual grates, and then the actual vessel itself of the grill, you could put it on for 40 minutes. There's another way of doing the grates with putting it into coals. That's another eitzah. Either way, it should be, you should eat lishma, enjoy the meat, especially before the 9 days. Number 3, if someone wants to kasher from fleishiks to milchiks, someone asked me the same question regarding a grill, turning it from fleishiks to milchiks. That's already an interesting shayla. Shouldn't be any problem. However, there's already, it's put down in the Mishnah Berurah that we usually do not go from fleishiks to milchiks unless we're kashering for Pesach. And the reason for this is really more of a decree, a gezerah of Chachamim. But there is a way of doing it. If someone has a need to do so, so one of the ways is to make it first parav. For example, to kasher it before Shabbos, use it for parav things, and then on Sunday. This way there's a clear separation between the two. Getting back to our story of little things about not giving up. A lot of people, Baruch Hashem, reacted to the story that we mentioned, and it's not just a story. Davening is the most essential utensil, kli, our greatest weapon of the Jewish people. I often quote the Yalkut Shimoni that says, based on the verse in Yeshaya, Al tir'i tolas Yaakov, don't fear the worm of Yaakov. We are likened to the worm. What's the power of a worm? The worm eats away at the bark, slowly, slowly, slowly. So too we, the Jewish people, slowly, slowly. Sometimes there's one tefillah that pierces through, and sometimes it takes a long time. But here's the key, I think that we didn't point out. It's not just about the results. Maybe at the end of those 515 prayers or 515 days, the answer will be no, but we'll be changed by the prayer. That's an extremely important point to realize. There's another story that someone shared with me yesterday. This is a true story that took place in Vienna. There was a Jew. His name was Mr. Schick. Mr. Schick, for 40 years, used to walk from his house to his factory. And every time he would see a non-Jew, an officer, he would say, "Good morning." He would say, if I was a Herr Morgan, something like that, "Mr. Good morning." And each time he would say it, this officer would ignore him. Now you would think most of us, after 3 days, we'd probably say, "Chazaka, we've tried, this person is ignoring me, I'm not going to say good morning." This person, Mr. Schick, I'm assuming, followed Chazal. Chazal teach us, Heve mekabel is kol adam b'sevel panim yafes. Heve makdim shalom l'chol adam afilu bashuk. Say hello first to any human being, even in the marketplace. Doesn't say whether he's going to return the hello back. Anyway, this took 40 years. After 40 years, right before the war, when the war broke out, and the Nazis were starting to send Jews, Rachmana litzlan, and collect Jews and gather them and send them to their destruction and their death, this Mr. Schick was walking like he regularly did to his factory. And suddenly the officer, after the Jew, Mr. Schick, said good morning, he said to him, "Mr. Schick, don't go to the factory today. They are going to get you." Mr. Schick didn't go, and that's where he was saved. And this story was told to his son, who told my friend, who was a neighbor upstate in one of the Mongol colonies, because he never gave up and stopped saying good morning. Hatzlacha.